Why, hello there, lovely one. It's me, Helen the Great, and we're going to look at a finance question. I recently gave this finance question to my grade 11s. It was in a paper 1 exam, and it was question number 2, which means it's meant to still be quite easy. So you should get 100% for this question when doing it. Paul buys a car for 120,000 Rand. Sure, in this day and age, that's quite cheap. If the car depreciates on a reducing balance, that's important, which formula would Paul use to calculate the cost of it after a period of time? Now, there are two ways or two methods that things can be reducing or depreciating. We have our straight line depreciation, and then we have our reducing balance, and sometimes they're called two other things. But basically, we know that the one is the opposite of simple interest. That's going to be the straight line. So rather than having 1 plus, we have 1 minus I times n. And the reducing balance is going to be the opposite of compound interest to the power of n. So it's just the minus version. They're asking the formula that needs to be used. Well, obviously, it's a reducing balance formula, so we don't have to put that down over there. Where do I get the reducing balance formula from? Well, it's on the info sheet. So all you need to do is look for it on the info sheet. As you can imagine, it's only worth 1 mark, so nice and easy. Next question follows on from that. It says, what will the book value of the car be in 4 years' time? Now, if the annual rate of depreciation is 10% per annum on a reducing balance. So we have got a couple of variables we could possibly be using to solve for this. And let's see what information we have. We know that it's going to be a reducing balance, and we've already identified that that formula is this one, minus I to the power of n. So we've got those 3 variables. We're told it's in 4 years. We're told that it's an interest rate of 10%. I prefer to write it as a decimal, so 0,1. We're not told in this particular question if we have the accumulated value or the principal value or amount. But look, at the beginning of the question, we're told that the car starts with a value of 120,000 Rand. In other words, we need to figure out what the accumulated amount is going to be. So all we do is we substitute. Let's throw in some zeros over there. And we have 1 minus 0,1 to the power of 4. Now, don't be tempted. I know you want to work this out in your head, but you do have a calculator. Use it. Okay, just double check the number of zeros you put in there. And 0,1. Close the brackets to the power of 4, and it will give us an answer of 78,732 Rand. So 78,732 Rand. In terms of marks, you're going to get 1 mark for doing all of your substitution correctly, and then 1 mark for the answer. And that's it. 2 marks, and they're 2 easy marks again. Last question for this particular part says, how much will a new car like Paul's cost in 4 years' time if the inflation is 8% per annum? The only tricky part about this is to remember that inflation is always calculated using compound interest. If you don't remember that, you're going to use the wrong formula, and then things are just going to get messy. To start off, I always start by writing down the possible variables that we do have values for. Let's put an n. And then figuring out what we have values for. We're told that 4 years. We're told the inflation rate. is 0.08 or 8%. The principal amount, now once again that's going to be the starting amount of the car, which was 120,000 Rand. So moving across, 120,000 Rand, which means we are once again looking for the accumulated amount. We substitute all of this in, and this is the first part that we're going to get marks for. We're adding the interest, and it's to the power of 4. Guess what? We have a calculator. Let's make use of it. Okay, 1, 2, 3. Make sure that you put all of your zeros in. Skipping out a 0 will throw things out quite a lot. And our answer is 163,258. Let's start with that. 163,258. And because it is money, we always round off to 2 decimal places. And we're going to round this up to 68 cents. In terms of your marks, once again, it's a 2-mark question. 1 mark for using the right formula and substituting correctly, and the other mark for getting the right answer. Well, my lovely one, I'm sure you found that quite easy. Much love.